Hello, good people. How are you doing? I hope that you are doing very, very well. I'm so excited for this particular episode that you're having today. We told you that we'll be having episodes, a series of the tech world of IT. In short, kila kitu enye iko in the tech world. And as you can see, we're talking about coding for kids. And today, the person I'm having is one person of a guy of many hats. So this episode is where you do not miss even a minute of it. So you get your friends, get your sisters, get your brothers, get your family. You don't want them to miss this episode as well. Now, today we'll be with Bernard Rono, and he's the co-founder of Frontier Pioneer School. So this particular school is a school that is teaching kids coding from a very young age. And there's something that he said even before he got on air, and alisema that a brain ya mtoto wena develop up to 85% by the time anafika 5 years. So we have kids who at 5 years wanafunzwa coding. How beautiful is that? And that can tell you that in the next 10 years, in the next 15 years, we'll be having a beautiful generation, and a generation that is very alert. So we'll be talking about that. Kama unapenda technology, kama unapenda IT, this is a chance for you to know how to make money using technology. And you're not only making money, we are making money in a way that you also enjoy making money, because this comes from a point of passion. Now, we'll be talking to him. As I've said, he's the co-founder of Frontier Pioneer, the Frontier Pioneer School. He's also the head of ICT in one of the biggest renowned tea factories, the Ketepa. Also, he's the founder of Runsoft Solutions. So he also makes websites. He's an IT guru. So if you love IT, this is the place to be. We're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, we're live on MBCI TV. So you can talk to us, send in your messages, and we will be getting right back to you. So let's go meet this one. We say that business is more than meets the eye. And for this particular episode, it will be more than meets the eye. Join me as we get into this discussion. A very, very, very good evening to you once again. And I know today we're going to be having an amazing show right here. As I've told you, today I'm having an IT guru. I had promised you that this month we're going to be going tech. And because of that, tunamalizia mwezi with a bang. Because I want you, kama unapenda technology, kama unapenda IT, usikae tu. Make sure you do something with that. And now today, I'm having an IT guru with me. And I'm sure today's show will be innovative, because it's IT, will be innovative, and I'm sure it's going to help you out there. So make sure you call a friend, make sure you call a sister. Usikuja hapa kusaidika peke yako. Make sure that you call someone to watch this with you. If you're watching us on Facebook, MBCI TV Facebook page, you can comment down there and we'll be getting right back to you. If you're watching us live on YouTube, MBCI TV YouTube page, make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you also subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Unatuwatch kama huja subscribe kwa nini? So make sure you subscribe and also tell us about what you think. And if you have any question, we'll be making sure that we'll get a way to get back to you. Alice, thank you so much for having us today. We're very, very, very happy to be here. Now, even before we start, I'm not sure I've done justice with your introduction, because you have many hats. You do a lot. And today we're only going to be talking about the IT. But even before we get there, introduce yourself using this camera, then we'll start from here.
Okay, so what an opportunity to host you at the Frontier once again. So my name is Bernard Rono. I'm an IT consultant. I play in the tech space. I'm a founder, I'm a director. And most importantly, I'm a child of God.
Ah, amazing. Yeah. That's the most important. Yeah. Now, I'm very excited today to just go through this journey with you, so that you can also tell us how you got into the IT sector and how you've been able to grow in this career. It's a very competitive space. And business, you say it's more than meets the eye. And everyone wants to make money from business. So maybe we can start from, even before we get into the school, Frontier School, maybe you can just start from, how did you get into the IT space?
Okay, so I was fascinated by the potential that came with the technology space.
Okay.
We grew up looking at what computers did at the start of the year 2000. And my career direction took a shift when I met my great mentor who lives in Nakuru called James Kinuthia. He's a former ICT manager at Everready. I did visit him when I was in campus, and one photo struck me. He took a photo with Bill Gates in the US. And as I grew up, I knew that my technology direction would be IT. I'm where I am today because of passion. I got very early, straight after high school, became a Microsoft certified professional, a Cisco certified network associate, an ethical hacker, and
I love the
driven into tech space. I was also inspired by the CEO of Microland, David Kitu, and he really inspired us to think ourselves as fresh from school, not just as employees, but as employers. So I also run a consulting company that builds websites. I think to date, I've probably built over 100 corporate websites. I do that out of passion, but I also mentor many university students who are keen on getting into the tech space. And of course, as a result of all that, together with my wife, we embarked on a dream to set up a model school in Kericho County. And so welcome to the Frontier Pioneer School.
Thank you. It's an amazing place. And I love that you're actually mentoring young kids from a very young age to just get into the tech space and show them how to code. I don't know, since at that age you are probably just doing some games out there, but I love that you're showing them the tech space at a very young age. So we'll be talking about that, but even before that, why exactly, what was the gap that you saw so that you decided that you want to mentor young kids into coding and the tech space? Because you're used to, but when you're nafanya coding, ni when you tukimaliza maybe high school, you decide that I have a passion for coding or for IT and I get into that space. So why exactly did you decide to have a school for young kids to teach them coding?
Good question, Rachel, and thank you very much for that. As I said, my wife is a teacher by training. And when we relocated to Kericho County in 2015, she had to quit from some top schools in Nairobi and was jobless for several years. She couldn't secure a place to teach. As a result of that, and out of lots of frustration, she embarked on setting up a daycare. So this school started as a daycare. So we were called Kericho Pioneer Daycare and Playgroup. We did such a good job, and the parents came back to us and said, look, you've done such a fantastic job as a daycare, so where next? And as they say, the rest is history. So in setting up this institution, it coincided with the review of the Kenyan education curriculum. For a very long time, you and I, Rachel, ran on 844. It was a curriculum that the government thought that it was about time to overhaul the curriculum. And this was a blessing because it opened a whole world of possibilities. At the heart of CBC sits in core competences. There are actually 7 core competences. And digital literacy is a very key competence that the new curriculum wishes to pass on to the next generation. And so the integration of technology in the school that we run here in Kericho has largely borrowed on what technology can do for the years to come. and inspired by the CBC competences around digital literacy.
Okay.
So my bigger input here was coming from a tech space. We saw a gap and we saw an urgent need to redefine digital literacy in schools.
Okay.
Because I tell you what, we are in the fourth industrial revolution. And the fourth industrial revolution will be defined by modern age technologies.
Okay.
You know, artificial intelligence, robotics, business intelligence. When you look at what tech has in store and the power of technology in the next century, the role of tech will not be underestimated.
Yeah.
And so we were inspired to build a model institution that leverages on technology.
Yeah.
And you asked a very good question. Why introduce coding at this age?
Yeah, at a very young age.
And I'll answer it by one fact. You see, the brain of a child develops up to 85% by age 5.
Age 5?
Yes. Research in science proves that when you look at the brain growth of a child, by the time a child is at the age of 5, the brain would have developed up to 85%.
Okay.
And so as a school, we thought about what are those skills that we want to push to the next generation by the age 5? Because a 5-year-old child, Rachel, is a child in pre-primary 2. And that is the stage that we introduce learners to basics of computers, to coding. And the kind of impact we've seen in this school is a story that we'd like to share with the world.
We'd love to know about kids who've learned coding here at a very young age, and now they're out and they're feeling it was a very good thing that you guys did at that very young age. But also I'm interested to know how you guys incorporating the technology that are coming up, like AI, to what you guys are offering, just to make sure that you stay at par, because I know technology is changing each and every day. In fact, I think every hour something new is coming up in the tech world. So what are you doing to just make sure that you're keeping up with the tech space?
Research is key, I would say. And one of the things that we had to make a decision as the directors of this institution is globally there are many coding platforms. In fact, probably in their hundreds. Now, the choice of the platform was very important because number one, you've got to pick a platform that is approved by KICD, the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. And so our partner in this program is called Codris Africa. They built a fantastic program that kicks in from age 6 all the way to 16. So learners from grade 1 to grade 12, they are able to learn on the basics of coding all the way to an advanced stage. Our learners at the Frontier Pioneer School, by the time they are in grade 6, they should be able to build commercial apps. Something that you and I probably did when we were in second year, third year, perhaps working on thesis and a project in campus. And we borrow these from developed countries. When you look at what the Japanese do, what the Americans do, what the learners in Denmark do, learners are introduced to technology through digital literacy at a very early age. And that is why when you think about any tech innovation today, save for M-Pesa, that is homegrown, many of these technologies have been innovated by young people in foreign lands. When you think about how Dell started, how Microsoft, how many of these technologies came into being, you only read stories that a 17-year-old boy in a garage sets up a business entity. And so that really inspires us, Rachel. There goes in a major, major, major opportunity for many people in the education sector to think alongside what the government intends to achieve through digital literacy. And coding definitely is a path that we have chosen as a school to pursue.
And I feel like it's a very good thing that you guys are doing, because I can imagine if we had people to do this at our age, when we were growing up, probably right now as a country tungekuwa mbali sana. We'd be having people who are 17, 18 coming up with very good apps, coming up with unimaginable things. So you can imagine the kids when you wanafunzwa coding sahi, at the age of 20, 22, they will be in a totally different space, even the way they think. So this is a very good space, business-wise, and also for the sake of the kids and the nation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So unfortunately, our time is really running. We still have a lot to do, but before we get to the other parts, we will need to get to the tips, because we want you to know what you're supposed to do if you are in this tech space and you want to make money from this. Now we're getting into that very interesting space about how you make money in technology. Kwa hivyo usiende mbali, we'll be getting tips and then we'll be coming right back.
Hi everybody, so good to be back again. My name is Bernard Rono. I'm a technology leader, well they say IT guru. I'm a co-founder at the Frontier Pioneer School, a director at Ronsoft Solutions, a CIO with the largest tea packaging company in Ketepa. To run a successful school like we have, you have to have several things in mind. One, you must have passion and vision. Passion drives vision. You must be passionate enough. We've learned a lot through working with young kids. You have to love these kids. My wife loves kids. And so if you're running any business or you're running a school like we are, you must have the vision and the passion for that drive. Secondly, like Winston Churchill said, never, ever, ever, ever give up. Challenges will push you to the edge, but you must not give up. There is power in persistence. Number three, I always say you must surround yourself with great people. Our journey has been full of immense support from our parents at the Frontier Pioneer School. And they love this school. They love what we do. They encourage us to soldier on. Number four and final, you obviously must pray hard. Because when push comes to shove, you've got to reset to factory settings and look at the bigger picture. So that would be my business tips for you. Hi, my name is Bernard Rono. I'm a technology leader. I'm a co-founder at the Frontier Pioneer School. I'm the ICT manager at Kenya Tea Packers, and I'm a director and founder at Ronsoft Solutions. And you are watching Business Plus.
All right, we are back and we are at the heart of Kericho County, which will become a city very soon, we believe. What our government mnanisikia? Thank you. So we are at Frontier Pioneer School. So Frontier Pioneer is a unique, very unique school, because it's not only helping the kids, it's helping the country, it's helping the nation as a whole. Because in a idea such that in the next like 10, 20 years, we'll be having a generation that is very sharp in the technology world, in the tech world, because here we are having kids as young as 5 years, as very young, from grade 1. Now wanafunzwa coding. So these are people who will be able to bring up apps in a very young age at 15, 17. And you know that at that point, Kenya will be a great nation, a great, great nation. So thank you so much for doing that. We are very happy. As much as you're making money from it, you're doing it as a business, but you're actually helping Kenya.
Yeah.
So let's start with, what softwares do you use to teach these kids?
Thank you very much. You did mention that we are Frontier.
Yeah.
We are the Frontier Pioneer School.
Frontier.
The article, the. So we partnered with an entity called Codris Africa. So the platform we use has been tested for many years, developed into the platform it is today. The programming language that powers the platform is Python. Python programming language is a very versatile programming language. It is behind many of the apps that we use today. And as I said, the platform and the curriculum we run has been tested and approved by KICD. Again, as a learning institution, we've introduced computers as extracurricular, but what this school does is unique. From pre-primary 2, the learners come into the computer lab that we are in, and they learn the basics of computers. By the time they're in grade 1, we take them now to the next level of coding, a very fascinating journey. You are taught how to think like a computer. So Codris Africa is, I would say, one of the best platforms because when you're teaching a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old child coding, the challenge here is you've got to have a platform that is interactive, that is interesting. Otherwise, your child would sit in the lab for this week, and next week they'll tell you, "Mommy, I don't want." It's hard. So this platform comes to their level, takes them through foundation of coding, and as I said, the brain of a child develops up to 85% by age 5, picks up learners and equips them with extremely important skills, logical thinking, critical thinking. And by the time this child is in grade 3, 4, 5, they'll be doing amazing stuff in the tech space.
I can imagine. I can imagine that. So what about the teachers, the tutors? How do you go about it? Do you train them? Because I know they also need to get to their level so that they are able to teach them coding in a way that they would understand. So how do you go about it?
Training is key. So I leverage on my background as a technology leader to train the teachers. But in the Frontier Pioneer School, we are extremely blessed to work with teachers who have experience in British curriculum, international curriculum, Montessori, and the digital literacy program under Codris blends in very well. So it takes years of research. I can tell you, for us to get to where we are today, it took us almost 3 years of research.
3 years of research.
We did try some platforms that are hosted in the US, a few other platforms that are hosted in Japan, and we didn't like, because you have challenges with time zones, local support. And so one of the key things as a school that you need to look at is, are you enrolling your learners on a platform that if, for argument's sake, a child transfers from the Frontier to a school in Nairobi, they can actually blend into the curriculum with a lot of ease. And so that's one of the things that we really look at, as you asked, around the platform. So beyond this being a Python platform, it's approved by KICD, and again, it is web-based. That means it's easy, it's interactive, and picks up the learners from their level.
Amazing. Wow, I think I'm really learning a lot. I was saying before to get up, I'm just about to copy notebook, guys, because I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. So what are some of the big projects or major projects that you've done since you got to the IT space? Or rather, some of the projects that you're very proud of? I know in any business, kuna vitu unafanya and you're feeling this or something. So do you have any of those?
I think the most recent is when my wife and I dared to dream to set up a school complex. When it is done, it will have probably costed us about 70 million. But we took the baby steps from where we are. So those are some of the projects that I've run using my skills and base, and of course with a lot of help from Felicitas, my wife. But again, in my other hat as a technology leader, I have executed many projects with several blue chip companies. I have implemented ERPs. I have implemented business intelligence tools. I have set up video conferencing equipments. I have been able to optimize infrastructure. I've been able to craft award-winning IT strategies for different organizations. And as I said, as a technology leader and as a web developer, I have specialty in search engine optimization. So I have worked with more than 100 corporates to either optimize their web presence, and I'm sure later you'll be looking at the tips of how to get to probably where we are. Technology has played a key role. When you set up a business today, or when you set up a venture, the world has to know about it.
True.
And technology plays a role. How do you position a brand to be visible? And so those are some of the very exciting projects. I'll also say I have been involved in recovering websites that have been hacked before.
Thanks.
And of course, many other projects that I've been involved in.
So what are some of the challenges that you faced in this industry? Because now I can assume you could be working with people that you don't even know in the tech space, in the IT space, because now you're on the web. So I can assume hapo lazima utapatana tuna mambo mingi sana. So what are some of the challenges that you faced?
Na kuoshwa pia.
So
I would say as a school and as an individual, together with my wife, we kicked off this school as a daycare. And in 2019, 2020, COVID struck and we shut. So we were actually closed for about a year and a half. It gave us time to reflect. And for a moment, if you're not persistent, you probably would get to a point where you ask yourself, am I in the right venture? And that something should be burning to keep you going, despite the circumstances that we are in. So there are those challenges that are beyond your control, like COVID. I'm sure many businesses were affected, and we were not an exception. So we were closed for about a year and a half. We took time to reflect, to research, and we changed locations. We were in a leased premise, but we challenged ourselves to acquire a property and build your own infrastructure, because we also discovered that when you run a school, it's very important that you actually operate from your own premise, because then when challenges like COVID strikes, then you're able to overcome with ease.
Wow. So time is really running. I'm not sure we've finished everything, but maybe how much roughly does it take to set up such a place, for the software, for the hardware, for the computers, just to make sure that you have kids learning and people training them on coding and everything that's happening here?
Okay, so thank you for that. So for you to set up a proper modern computer lab with sophisticated computers that can do a lot, if you're setting up a lab that has 30 computers, you need to subscribe to Codris Africa. You will obviously require slightly more than 2 million shillings to be up and running. That is not, that is not without, of course, considering issues around staffing levels. And getting good talent isn't cheap.
Right.
So for you to really get fantastic resources, whether human resources or equipments, they also don't come cheap. So if you're setting up a modern computer lab with about 30 computers, if your class is a class of 30 learners, then give and take, you probably require about 2 million shillings to start.
Okay.
Yeah.
For whatever's happening here, I think that's pretty much a good amount, because you can tell that whatever you get from that, it's something good. You always complain 2 million and you already have a class of 30 and everything is running plus the software. So thank you so much. We must say as Business Plus that you are doing a good job, and there's so much you haven't touched on based on what you do. Hatujaguza mambo ya Ketepa, and I'm sure saying that now you know you must stay tuned because you have something else coming up. But for this episode, I know that you have learned a lot. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for hosting us. We love the place. And if you are interested, make sure save this video. Watch each and every time, just to make sure that you keep in touch and make sure that you know what you're supposed to do for you to scale up in your business. Kama unapenda tech and you haven't done anything about it, unalala darasani. You see, there is so much that you can do with technology. You've said it started with passion. If you have passion for this, then you can actually do this. My name is Rachel Kahogu. Tutakuwa tunapatana next week on another episode of the Business Plus. But of course, we'll be having a repeat of the same on Friday at 7:30 in the PM. Make sure you save this. You can share it with your friends. You can share it with your family, because I know that it is going to help. Till next time, see ya.